Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. This is the technical analysis, chart analysis, and fundamental analysis for January 3rd, 2022. Yes, New Year, a couple days in. Didn't move exactly the way I thought. I thought it would slowly crawl up after the New Year, but it's actually gone down since the New Year and hasn't really fallen past this last low here that we had on December 17th. But it's pretty close to where we were. I still think like the upper 45,000s area is going to be a pretty critical. If we fall below that, I do think we might have a little bit further to go. But if we can hold at this level for a couple more days, I do kind of expect a breakout back up. So that's what I'm actually looking at right now because as you can see, in mid-year of 2021, we did have like a big slump that lasted from May until July. But the key thing is here that like each of these troughs were a little bit lower than the other trough, and right now this kind of breakdown is about the same as this breakdown, the initial breakdown here, and that wasn't true for over here. Also, what I've noticed for over here back in May was like the up and down action was a little bit greater than the up and down action over here. So I do think we've kind of hit a bottom around the upper 45s. It might consolidate for a couple more weeks during the new year because the volumes are going to be pretty low, but eventually I do think we'll actually break out. In terms of the technical analysis, on the daily analysis, the oscillators, they say buy, I say it's neutral. The commodity channel index is still not past negative 100 yet. The average directional index for the daily it's a little stronger than usual, but not really all that strong at 30.21. And then both the stochastic, the RSI is neutral. The stochastic is actually bordering on kind of like oversold at 16.72. So because there's not very a strong trend either way, I would actually think that it is a little bit oversold right now. Could be a little bit oversold right now, so we could see a small bounce back tomorrow or the next day. In terms of the moving averages, it is all sell. The 10-day moving average at 47,000, we've fallen below that. And the 200 EMA, which is the important one, it's still around 50,000. We are way below that right now. So we're basically on below all the EMAs and the SMAs on the daily. So obviously it's going to say like the momentum overall is sell. But since we've been oscillating so much between 45 or 46 and 50, I would actually think like really short term it's probably a buy because it can probably go up 2 or 3,000 in the next few days and then come back down because the oscillation has been really, really strong. We haven't crossed like the major thresholds of 52, 53,000, but we also haven't dumped below 45. So right now we're on the lower end of the range. So I would actually say it's a buy because there's a good chance that it'll bounce back to the upper end of that range as well. Not too many gains to be had, but at least some gains if you're looking at it that way. On the weekly, right now the oscillators are neutral. The RSI and the stochastic are both neutral. Commodity channel is also neutral. The average directional index is very, very weak on the weekly, and the awesome oscillator hasn't really done anything. So it is very, very neutral right now with no clear direction on the weekly index. The stochastic and both the commodity channel index are leaning more towards oversold, but not quite there yet. So we might fall a little bit more before bouncing back. As for the moving averages, you don't really get a buy until the 50s. And of course, 100, 200 is still going to be a buy. But the thing is, like, I only really look at the 10, 20, and 30 on the weekly because then you get more than half a year back. And because the cycle might be 6 months now instead of 4 years, I think like looking back on 10, 20, 30 is probably the best idea right now. And obviously all those are sell right now. But like I said, on the daily, we've been oscillating on the been oscillating between 46 and 50 for quite a while now, for the last month or so. So I would actually expect it to bounce back from 46. And this could change very, very quickly. If we bounce back like above 50 here, I think like a lot of these will actually turn positive. If we can get all of the 10 and 20 to turn actually positive, that would definitely be a positive signal, but it would require something like 53, 54,000. And if we can get above 53, 54, then I would be turning much more bullish than usual. But right now, I still think it's like a weak buy right now, not based on the technical TA averages and stuff, But based on what I've actually seen in the last month, it seems to be oscillating between 46 and 50. So like after this, it might oscillate back up to 50,000. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. On the monthly, obviously it's still buy. We're below the SMA for the 10 month. But I mean, like if you're looking this far out as on the monthly, it's always going to be buy. The directional index is getting a little bit stronger. But, you know, since all the other indicators are pretty much neutral, there's not much to say about it. The 10-month averages are the only ones I'm looking at. And because the rest of them are way too far out to draw any kind of TA conclusion from it. And from the 10-month, I would say like it's mixed between buy and sell. But I would say if you're looking at the monthly, you're probably going long-term, several months out. And I would definitely say it's a buy right now. But, you know, like technical play, if you're day trading, I think it's actually a decent time to buy in. But, you know, everyone's just guessing on day trading. I think like day trading wise, it's actually a decent time to buy. Definitely not really any kind of move. Definitely not like strong indicators anywhere to indicate that you should do anything on leverage. But if you're just like day trading spot, I would probably buy in and wait for it to go to 48, 49 before selling. But if you're holding long term, it's definitely an accumulation period still, and I would still buy. I would definitely do something like yield farming or at least staking right now while we pass the time. The other thing is the total hash rate is near an all-time high. I actually did read a report that it did actually get to an all-time high today. This only goes until January 1st. We're about 2 days behind here, and it's gone to an all-time high. So you can see like we're getting lower, higher lows, and we're going to get higher highs too if this actually broke a new all-time high. So the trend on the hash rate is definitely way up. We fully recovered from like kind of the March-April dip in hash rate. And I think eventually the hash rate after a month or two will push the price of Bitcoin up. So long-term, like a month or two, definitely up as well. Also, I think this is more short-term, but the dollar index did actually increase by about 1% today. So that's kind of like why it dipped. I don't expect the increase to continue. I don't expect the dollar to fall apart, obviously. That's not going to happen. But I also don't expect a massive swing in strength for the dollar either. So as the dollar DYDX fluctuates, Bitcoin will pretty much go the opposite way as the dollar, as it usually does. Also, we also have a report that more fat cats are actually looking at crypto right now. And that makes a lot of sense. There's still a lot of inflation going on, and people are afraid of inflation. And the fat cats know this better than anyone else. So because they are fat and they are cats, they are moving some of their assets into assets that are not impacted by inflation or work in inverse direction of inflation, which is what crypto does. So based on those things, the fundamental analysis for the next year is still pretty strong, very, very strong indeed. But right now, I would just, if you want to buy small shorts and if you want to buy small trades, I would say just like pin around 46 to 50 as there's some trading profits to be gained there. I'm just holding, but if you're trading, that's probably what I would do. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.